I'm gonna walk you through exactly how this war that is 7,000 miles away from your home is going to affect every single element of your life over the coming months. Specifically, it's gonna change the price of just about everything. So a lot of you saw my last video, and the #1 comment that I saw from that video was, hey, we already have our own oil. It doesn't matter if they cut off the Strait of Hormuz and choke out 20% of the world's oil. Here's why that's a problem. So in the next few minutes, I'm gonna explain exactly how that's going to affect you moving forward. All right, so let's start with what happened over the last 72 hours. Obviously, the US has attacked Iran, and that has launched a multinational war that could last well over a month. And who knows, if it's anything like Ukraine, it could be years. Apparently, Iran has fired back at Israel and 7 other countries. And apparently Hezbollah has opened a new front in Lebanon. We've had a drone hit a British airspace in Cyprus, and as of right now, the Strait of Hormuz is shut down completely. Now, I need you to understand what that means. The Strait of Hormuz is only 21 miles across, and it separates Iran from Oman and the rest of the world in terms of shipping. And over 20 million barrels of oil every single day flow through that tiny strait. To put it in perspective, that is 1/5 of the entire world's oil flowing through that narrow little gap. And currently, that is controlled by Iran. Right now, there are over 150 tankers that are sitting idle and cannot move because Iran's Revolutionary Guard has closed the Hormuz Strait, and they have blown up several of the tankers already, and they've made it very clear nobody's going through. So there are over 150 tankers just sitting there waiting. The Iran Revolutionary Guard has closed the Hormuz Strait, and all of the insurance companies have pulled their insurance policies on all of those tankers, so nothing is moving. And what that means is shipping companies have pulled all transportation through the area, so nothing is getting scheduled and nothing will be going through. They proved their point. 3 tankers blew up, 1 was set on fire, and they're not letting anything through, and they've made that very clear. Now, it's not like they can physically close the strait. The strait is open. There's no canal with a gate there. They're just going to blow ships up as they pass through that narrow area. I'm talking about a 21-mile opening. You can see across that from one side to the other on a good day. And all they had to do was make an example of a couple of ships so that all the insurance companies would pull their coverage. And as soon as that happens, nobody's shipping anything, because if insurance isn't on these barges, some of them carrying hundreds of millions of dollars worth of product, they're not moving. So what this has become is the world's most concentrated energy choke point, which is going to be detrimental to just about everybody on the planet. And this is the first time this has happened in history. Now, I want to explain how the argument, we have our own oil, doesn't really make sense. Yes, the United States produces about 13 million barrels of oil a day. We are, in fact, one of the biggest producers of oil in the entire world. But oil is traded on the global market. It's not priced to its region. It's priced to the entire world. So when 20% of the supply disappears, prices on all barrels of oil goes up immediately because 20% has been removed from the market. Now the demand is still there, but the supply has been choked out. So that means the barrels coming out of Texas, North Dakota, and Alaska all cost the same as the ones sitting on those ships in the Hormuz Strait. Let's take a different look at it. Think of it like lumber. Let's say in your backyard you have 1,000 acres of well-developed hardwood trees. And 2 counties over, a forest fire consumes all of the hardwood growth that's on track to be harvested in the next year or 2. Well, if that happens, what do you think is going to happen to the price of wood or lumber? Well, it's going to skyrocket. And just because you have it in your backyard doesn't mean you're going to sell your lumber cheaper than somebody on the other end of the world. No, lumber is going to cost the same whether you're in Washington or California. Whether a forest fire just destroyed everything or you have 1,000 acres of hardwoods that you can look at, it's going to be the same. The price is going to correct and equalize according to the supply and demand. If you've got the same amount of demand, but you've only got 80% of the supply, well, that means the price is about to skyrocket. That's because everybody is now competing for that finite resource. And as soon as it shrinks in supply, the demand that has to have it is going to bid up the price immediately. And what's crazy is it's already happening. We're already 13% up in crude oil just in the past couple of hours. What's crazy is this supply isn't supposed to hit the market for a while, but the spike is already happening. We're already 13% up on crude oil, and it's only been about 48 hours. Investment bankers are warning that if the strait stays closed, this could be very impactful for the price of gasoline at the pump, pushing crude oil well above $100 a barrel and taking our average price per gallon well above $5. And this is all going to happen over the next couple of weeks because as demand continues stronger and stronger and the supply gets choked out, that price is going to skyrocket. But here's what nobody in the news is going to explain to you, and they're definitely not going to do it in a way that you can understand. This is not just about the price of gas at the pump. This is also about natural gas. You see, Qatar just shut down their entire liquid natural gas refinery system after Iran hit them in several different places. This is the second largest LNG exporter in the world. That's a big deal, and that's going to be impactful on your bottom line. Now, this LNG is used to heat homes, power natural gas plants, and create electricity for homes in Europe and across the United States. European natural gas has already jumped 43% just in the last few hours. And the worst part is our energy experts are saying that we don't have any spare natural gas, which means no cushion, which means an immediate hit when demand continues. So what does that mean for you? Well, about 40% of Americans get their heat in their home and their electricity from natural gas. So that means when natural gas prices go up, like they did in Europe, your heating bill and electric bill is going to go up. And that's not going to happen next year or in 6 months. That's happening on the next billing cycle. And this isn't just from Qatar. Saudi Arabia has already shut down their plants after they got hit. Here's the crazy part. Saudi Arabia also shut down several of their refineries after they got hit. And all the shipping rates are doubling, maybe even tripling, just because of the lack of capacity. And not only are prices going up, but the timing of those shipments is increasing dramatically because now they have to go all the way around, which is super dangerous already, but it takes a ton of time and massive amounts of cost increases. Just about every product in your house got to you on a truck. And all those trucks, those run on diesel. And diesel follows crude oil. Diesel goes up. And when diesel goes up, shipping goes up. And when shipping goes up, all the things that got to you through shipping go up. Because unlike all of our deals on our website, shipping is not actually free. That means the price of your groceries, your medicine, your clothing, and all of your essentials are going to skyrocket thanks to increased costs and the considerable rise in oil. That means all your groceries, your medicine, your clothing, your building materials, all are going to go up in price because shipping is increasing substantially from this oil shock. And that means an incoming inflation bubble is about to happen, but it's not going to be like last time back when that happened. That was an asset bubble. This is going to be a commodities bubble, a consumer bubble that affects all consumers equally. All of your basic needs are going to skyrocket in price due to this consumer inflation that we're about to take on. It's going to hit different, and I'm almost convinced that they're doing this on purpose. I mean, why else would we attack Venezuela, secure their oil, and then go straight into a massive war against Iran? Pretty simple. The US wants their oil that they just procured to cost more. So they're raising the price with war. And this allows politicians to spend more money because GDP went up. All of this puts the US in more debt and makes everything more expensive for you and me. So let me break this down. You're looking at a situation where energy, shipping, groceries, medical, building supplies, all are about to hit a huge spike in price because of what's happening 7,000 miles away from us here in the homelands.